We'll do it live.
This is Huck Jr., the host of In the Hut, and you're listening to the BBQ Central Radio Network. All barbecue and grilling, all the time.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. Here we go. This is the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling, originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I am, of course, your program host, Greg Rippey. Happy to have you aboard here for the show. You want to jump in? Phone call 216-777-2120. Again, 216-777-2120. Or if you want to email the show, you can do that as well.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at bbqcentralshow.com or on the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what we have on tap for the next 120 minutes or so. It is the second Tuesday of any given month. And when we hit the second Tuesday of any given month, you know we're going to be getting a visit from the creator of the most heavily trafficked and most popular barbecue and grilling website, and he has the metrics to back that up. None other than Meathead from AmazingRibs.com. We have a load of questions that we're going to try and plow through during our two segments this evening. We will also address what I am calling purposeful undercooking of steaks across this great nation of ours, potentially across the world. But we all know I am no world traveler, nor do I have any interest in traveling outside of these great United States. Hawaii, questionable, but definitely not anything due east. England, Germany, China, all that stuff, no interest there. So I'm not sure if it is if you are in those countries, which I really have no interest in going. No offense, of course, just don't want to travel. But let me know if you are also finding a purposeful undercooking of your beef where you are in your part of the world. Hit me up with an email. Let me know about it. I think in the United States, that is absolutely going on, and we're currently in the process of putting that to the test. I have tasked the embedded correspondent crew to go ahead through this course of the next 4 weeks to hit up a steak chain or a prime steakhouse or points in between or both and order a steak to medium. I'll go over some revisional criteria here in a few moments or as time allows during the course of the show and see if it is indeed coming through well undercooked, which I have experienced a handful of times here over the last couple of years And I believe through reading some printed articles, that is actually something that is happening to prevent throwout or waste from a steak that has gone over. So Meathead and I will talk about that, plus answer your questions. We may or may not touch on the Barbecue Hall of Fame. We were talking about that last time he was on as far as a potential topic. We might have exhausted that a little bit. You might have a little Hall of Fame fatigue. I could talk about it for hours and hours and days and months on end. But I have to think about you, the listener, as well, so we'll have to see about it. Then in the second hour, I will be joined by somebody that is making I was going to say unique, not necessarily unique. I mean, when you look at it, it looks like an offset smoker, but man, oh man, something special and something unique about the way these offset smokers are being made. I've been chasing them down here for literally over a month or so, maybe a little bit longer than that. He's very busy. His smoker very popular right now on the market and has been for some time. I will be talking with the creator of Moberg Smokers, Sunny Moberg, in the second hour. So really looking forward to catching up and meeting him in the first time. Well, I guess you can't catch up if you've never met before, but meeting him, learning about his backstory, and then, of course, what is setting his smokers apart from some of the other traditional offset wood-fired pits. And really, in Texas, you have some of the most prolific pit makers ever, like in the history of pit making, that are existing down there. So looking forward to chatting it up with Sunny Moberg in the second hour. That's what you got. Meathead coming up here in the first hour. Sunny Moberg in the second hour. Very much looking forward to that. As I did mention here a couple minutes ago, revision on the steak assignment. So if you are going to do that, and I believe Doug Scheiding has already, Texas Embedded correspondent, has already gone out and done something a week or two ago, but instead of asking for 140, let's ask for a 135 internal temperature or request medium if they will not cook to a particular internal temperature. Request medium, and let's hope for a carryover of what would be around high 130s, maybe 140. In full disclosure, I overdid some steaks a couple weekends ago, even doing reverse sear, but I believe I went too high when I seared. And even for that short time that I did it, it blasted right past the target temperature. However, in my defense, while they were over in temp, still tender, still juicy, definitely into that medium category, unfortunately. But I think we need to back off the requested temp. So if they will not do it by internal temperature, just request medium, take your thermopen, put it in, and let's hope for that 140. I'm predicting it'll be way less than that. Or if they will cook to an internal temperature, tell them 135, and then we'll hope that between the time it gets taken off that charbroiler or grill and lands on the table, when you stick with the thermopen, it'll still reach around that 140. We'll see how they do. So that's my request to you. By the way, do want to thank everybody for the birthday wishes today. Appreciate that. 44 today, feeling every bit of it, looking every bit of it. And, you know, it's always humbling to me to get all of your birthday well wishes through Facebook, other social media channels, some through email, private message, and stuff like this. But it really makes me humble and appreciative when some of the barbecue luminaries leave a voicemail message for me in happy birthday fashion, and I've saved a couple of those. So let me see here. See if I can dig this one up. All right. Let me play, and I'll sprinkle these throughout the show, what I would call barbecue celebrity birthday well wishes.
Hey, Greg, this is your biggest fan.
Aaron, Franklin.
From Franklin Barbecue. Really love the show. Always appreciate our conversations. So I wanted to reach out and wish you a fantastic birthday. Look forward to our next chat. Got some really important news to tell you about that I can't release at this moment, so we'll keep that undercover because I know you love it when guests come on and tell you that they can't talk about anything important. So I would just like to continue that. Anyway, happy birthday, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Wow, Aaron Franklin left me a birthday voicemail. Thank you, Aaron. That's great. Wasn't expecting a well wish from Aaron Franklin. He's very busy, very popular in the barbecue community. Who else do we got? I think you'll know this guy. You see him all over the place. One of the ebullient characters of barbecue right now. You see him on TV a lot.
Hey, Remp. This is your old buddy.
Big Mo Cason.
From Ponderosa Barbecue. I just wanted to take a minute to wish you a very happy birthday. I'm very busy, but I did want to reach out and give you my most sincere birthday well wishes. Love the show. I'm always listening whenever I can fit it in. And I love doing these really cool commercials with your buddy Bob Trutnack from the Barbecue Guru. They're really fun and allow me to exercise a lot of my creativity that you wouldn't normally get to see outside of the barbecue arena. So anyway, that's a weird thing for me to say during your birthday wish, but I did want to get that in there, bbqguru.com. And happy birthday to you, brother, and we'll see you on the barbecue trail.
That's Big Mo Quezon right there. Wow. Big Mo taking time out. Always appreciate that. So Aaron Franklin is in. Big Mo Quezon is in. Looks like we got maybe 3, 4, 5 other ones here that will sprinkle in during the course of the show. Do want to make a mention here to the folks over at Shot in the Dark. These guys make barbecue rubs, and they were kind enough to send me some samples. I have small caliber rub here. Have the large caliber rub right there, and also this Sinful Seduction rub. Out of these three, the tasting family like the large and the small caliber rub the best. Also, we got a cherry rub. That was a little too candy-ish for me. Neighbor Desmond took that one and is doing some further testing. We tasted them all on ribs and some other pork products, and the large caliber and the small caliber, both even as far as being what we thought was best in flavor profile, followed by Sinful Seduction. I could have a little more of a ramped-up taste, but always appreciate people sending me stuff to try out, and I'll mention it if I like it, and I did like these. So if you're interested in checking out a new rub, shotinthedarkbbq.com. That's shotinthedarkbbq.com. Meathead from AmazingRibs.com coming up out of the break. Attention, folks, in the business of barbecue. Established in 1882, Southside Market and Barbecue, the oldest barbecue joint in Texas, and has been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations. They offer premium Central Texas barbecue products, slow smoked over real wood, shipping, distributing, and manufacturing sausages and companies across the U.S. from food trucks to multi-chain restaurants. Southside Sausage can be on your menu, too. All meats are processed in their on-site USDA-inspected facility, a trusted partner with a focus on quality and, most importantly, authenticity. Wholesale options available, shipping nationwide via the FedEx. You can also pull through food distribution services like Cisco, U.S. Foods, and Martin Foods, some of the big players. Co-packaging capable as well, from research and development to package completion. They can follow your recipe or help you develop something brand new. They also have this thing called private labeling, where you can take one of their existing products, slap your name on it, and sell it. So if you have a barbecue restaurant like Greg's Barbecue Shop and you don't want to go through the process of developing your own sausages for whatever reason, then you can buy the sausages from Southside Market and Barbecue and put Greg's Beef Sausage or Greg's Barbecue Slammers or Pork Slammers. It's great. Easy for you because they're tried and true products. Great for Southside Market Barbecue. They're selling their products just under your name. Here's what you do. You visit SouthsideMarket.com. That's SouthsideMarket.com. Request information on company packaging or private label opportunities. If you're an online buyer listening to this show, you can get 10% off your entire order if you enter code BBQ Central, one word, BBQ CENTRAL, BBQ Central at checkout. And again, that's 10% off the entire order when you go online, SouthsideMarket.com. That's SouthsideMarket.com. The beef sausage is something of a legend. If you've never had beef sausage before, you got to try it. All right, Meathead from AmazingRibs.com coming up out of the break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Butcher Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, and seasonings, barbecue sauces, and grilling oils, my favorite. All the Butcher Barbecue products have been tested on the competition circuit as well as in backyards, like specifically my backyard, believe it or not. For more information, to stock up, you go to butcherbbq.com. That's butcherbbq.com. You always trust your butcher. The grilling oil is so good. All right, joining me now, the staunch, verified, and honorable second Tuesday of the month guests racing to the Traeger Grills hotline. And we welcome back Meathead from AmazingRibs.com. Meathead, how are you? Oh, thank you very much for that. Meathead, where's your camera at? Yeah, we got to see Meathead. Got to have the video, right? There we go. There we go. There's Meathead. Youthful as ever. Hey, Meathead, I don't know if you heard as we were going out to break, but I had some celebrity birthday well wishes. Yeah. Aaron Franklin. Moke-san. Yep. Here's another one. I'm going to sprinkle these throughout the show, but I might as well. Yes. Please. Aha! Thank you, Meathead. Thank you. Here's one from somebody that I think we've both met in person at the very first Kingsford Invitational when we went out in the middle of nowhere for that competition. But see if you can place this one.
Hey, Greg, this is your friend
Chris Lilly
from Big Bob Gibson's, also Barbecue Hall of Famer. Just wanted to pitch a call to you real quick. Sorry I didn't get you in person, and wish you a very happy birthday. I know you're doing a show tonight, so just wanted to pass along our thoughts here at Big Bob Gibson's to the barbecue media master. Hope you had a great day. Take care.
Look at that. What? Prolific. Yep. It is a tad bizarre. I'm not here to answer any questions or go any further than what you're hearing. I mean, it's as I said in the open, I'm just humbled that the folks are here. And what are you talking? How can the most prolific barbecue stars somehow know it's my birthday and my second Tuesday of the month guests? Oh my goodness. Well, that's all right. Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, well, I got an inordinate amount of questions that we will burn. So I figured here's what we're going to do. We're going to run through those questions first. And that is not true.
Get that big stuff out of here.
I don't know if he doesn't play here anymore. He does live here still. Oh, he's got one of the most palatial estates anywhere to be seen, I think. At least in the... Oh, well, no doubt about it. He's out of here for sure. Well, somebody's telling me that they can't hear your audio, but I can hear you, and you're registering on my meters, so I have to figure... Yeah, you can hear me, right? You can hear me. Yeah, well, I don't know what to say. We're recording. It's recording fine in podcast, which is where most of the people get it anyway. They probably just need to hit refresh on their computers, and away we go. All right, so well, I mean, I can hear you. Ooh, look at that fancy microphone. Yeah. Yeah. Some of us last week. All right, so let's do this before we get into the Facebook questions. I want to cover this particular item specifically. And it's something that I've brought up here over the last couple of weeks. And if you're a fan of this show, of course, you know that I love to get on tangents. And sometimes they're short-lived, and other times they will go on and on and on for months at a time until I feel like they have ridden their proper course. And my newest focus is what I'm calling the purposeful undercooking of steak across this great country. Perhaps the world, but I don't know anything about the world. But in this country, I think there is a purposeful undercooking of steak at both chain and perhaps more egregiously at the high-end prime steakhouses. I'm actually going to be having a conversation with Nick Solaris about this next week, I believe, or at least a portion of our conversation will be about this. So I wanted to get your thoughts on it. I mean, you're a guy who'll go out and enjoy a nice steak. And let me first lay out what the Well, so let's quickly go through all of my stuff first before we talk about anybody else. So I have tasked a number of top men in the industry, Daniel Vaughn, my embedded correspondents, and I said, hey, over the course of the next month, go to a chain restaurant, or if you have the funds, go to a prime steakhouse, dry aged if you want. Order a steak medium. If you have the ability to request temperature, ask for 135 and see if they will cook it to 135. I am maintaining that when the steak, and you take your thermopen to the restaurant, and the minute that steak hits the table, you whip out the thermopen, you temp it, and then you take a picture of it, and we see exactly where that steak is coming from. Now, I'm going to assume that there is a wide majority of steakhouses that do not use thermometers in their kitchens, and they will go by feel because they feel they have the wherewithal and expertise to touch a steak or see how thick it is versus time and the heat on their grill. I get all that. But the point I'm trying to make is twofold. One, they're undercooking because of the reason that you just said. You overcook a steak, you can't bring it back, you got to toss it. So they're giving themselves a bigger window to shrink their toss-out margin. The other thing I think they're banking on is that there is a percentage of consumers that will get a steak. Maybe they ask for it medium. It will come out medium rare at best. They'll cut into the steak, but they won't have the balls to sit there and send it back, even if it's a $70 steak, so they'll sit there and eat it. And they won't say that it's undercooked, and they won't send it back, but they'll leave dissatisfied, and maybe they never go back to that establishment again. So, in your opinion, am I way off base here? Is there something to this? Because not only have I done reports on this through other written articles, but I have also experienced it at a number of higher-ranking steakhouses across the country through volleyball travel. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
A lot of restaurants where it's dark and you've got candlelight or incandescent light. Incandescent light is very orange and yellow, so it alters the actual appearance of the steak. It's around 3,500 Kelvin in photography terms, whereas daylight is 5,000 Kelvin. And so that, you know, and any woman knows you never put your makeup on under fluorescent light because it's green. You always look better under incandescent light because it's warm. So those are all factors. Medium rare is my favorite temp, and I think many steak aficionados prefer it in that range, which is in the 130 to 135 range. Medium is more in the 135 to 140 or all the way up to 145. It's not a precise number, but it's in that range. Medium is more of a pink color, Medium rare is a rosy color, and rare is a purplish color. Again, the color is not your decisive. There's a very good temperature guide on our website, and it's funny that you bring it up today because I'm a huge fan of Melissa Clark, the recipe writer, one of the many recipe writers at the New York Times, and she does great videos, and she's really a great cook, great personality, cute, and I have a crush on her. And she just did a piece on lamb this week, and she was talking about cooking it to medium at, I think she said 150 degrees or something, which is way up there in the well range.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with the article, it was clear she didn't have a grip on the temperatures. And it gets worse because USDA doesn't have a grip on it. USDA has tried to redefine these numbers, and USDA wants us to cook all steaks. I think their number, I got it right here, 145 is their number. I'm looking at a chart I publish. I can't quite see it here, but I mean, if steakhouses went by USDA numbers, they'd be out of business. So I don't know. I think they're, maybe a lot of these chefs don't know for sure either. And as you said, a lot of them don't use thermometers. I see a lot of them with dial thermometers, the old bimetal dial thermometers, which can take 30 seconds to read. They have one advantage over us backyard hacks, and that is most of them get the same steaks from the same supplier.
Right.
And they're the same cut, they're the same thickness.
Same spec.
So, yes, specs. Right, exactly. They're spec'd. And so if they're really good and their ovens are tuned and they're most of them are broiling, they can perhaps poke it and feel. I just don't think backyard cooks ought to do that. And there's another factor too. When you cut into a steak to look at the color changes with oxygen. Oxygen turns it brighter. And you can see this if you'll take a steak off and cut into it and just watch it. It'll get bright red or brighter red. So I don't know why they're doing it, but I would rather they undercook it than overcook it.
Why do you think, if you can arm yourself with an implement that can give you an exact reading in a second or less, that they wouldn't use it? I had Scott Rodriguez, who's like the head culinary guy at BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse, on a couple weeks ago. No higher ranking culinary person within the company there, aside from, like the ownership or whatever. But this is the guy who's disseminating the food across the country. And he requires everybody that works on the line, especially on a broiler, on a grill or whatever, to have a thermometer and make sure that you temp the meat. It takes very little time. You can ensure accuracy so that when you go, you're not leaving with a patron that could be remorseful, or worse yet, what's the worst thing? If you leave a restaurant and go, they totally missed it, I'm not going to go back there again.
I think there may be a machismo attitude here. I'm the great culinary. I went to Culinary Institute. I trained. I staged under a famous chef, and I can just tell by looking and feeling, and I don't need no stinking thermometer. I mean, when I first started doing my website back in 2005, I started preaching thermometers, and I think I may have said this to you recently. My wife, who works for the FDA, has said to me that she believes I have sold more digital thermometers than the USDA and the FDA. We preach thermometers. We talk temperature. Every recipe I write, almost every recipe, has a target temperature on it. We publish an award-winning temperature guide. It is absolutely the definitive tool. But a lot of folks out there feel like that they don't need it. They're machismo. I can tell, I don't know. All I know is I cook a lot. I'm a pretty darn good cook, and I won't step out of the house without a thermometer on me.
I'm worried. I understand the machismo thing that you're talking about, but if I go somewhere and I'm going to spend $75 or $100 for a steak, I mean, I'm going to want to know that what I'm asking for is being achieved. I think when you get into that kind of a setting, especially in the higher echelon steakhouses, that there is a certain level of expectation that is required. And that should be me getting the steak how I want it, not how you think I want it. If I wanted 135 or 146 or whatever.
There's another aspect to this, and that's these restaurants that don't put salt and pepper shakers on the table. That the chef has seasoned it perfectly. You don't need to add salt. And that just ticks me off. I mean, usually the chef gets it right.
Yeah.
But taste is a matter of taste. And everybody's palate is different. And I know in my circle of friends and family that there are people who just pour on the salt, and others, I'll just go light, and they'll complain it's way too salty. Everybody is different. The sheer chutzpah of a chef to say, you don't need salt and pepper on the table because I got it right in the kitchen. And then you go back there and they're slinging the salt and pepper around like this. You know, I mean, come on.
John Dawson says Meathead is a concealed thermometer permit holder. I agree. So am I. Well,
I haven't talked to Dawson in a long time. It's always good to bump into him on your show.
So I think what I'm trying to say here is this. In a 2 weeks' time, we will have a very small, sweeping percentage of the country on if they know how to cook steak or not, or if they're cooking it to a specified temperature or not. And I understand that business is business, and you can never pull a steak back once it gets past a certain point, and you got to throw it out, or I guess I don't even know what you do with it, but you can't serve it to the customer, so it's probably at a loss.
Yeah, I don't know that bringing a thermometer into a restaurant is a great move.
This is journalistic. This is journalistic stuff here, Meathead. You were a journalist at one point. How dare you?
You also have the issue of resting. And a lot of guys, a lot of chefs will pull that steak out and it'll sit on the counter for 5 minutes resting. Or it'll get plated and put under the salamander or just on the shelf, you know, and it sits there and waits for the waiter or the waitress to come up or waits for the lobster to be finished.
Mm-hmm.
So the temperature, well, by the time it gets to you, is going to be could be very different than when it was when it came out. So, and it just, you know, I don't take pictures in restaurants. I love my food and I've had great recipes. And I whenever I go out to dinner, I always get ideas on a new recipe that I want to play with. I just keep my cell phone in my pocket. I'm there to enjoy the meal and the company. And if I won't take my cell phone out, I'll be damn sure I'm not taking my thermometer out.
Okay, all right.
And for sure, the minute I pull the thermometer out, the waitress is telling the chef, and he's telling the manager and the owner, the health department's in the house.
Yeah, I get it. So we're talking with Meathead from AmazingRibs.com. You can check him out. It's the authority of barbecue and grilling, the most heavily trafficked and popular barbecue and grilling website. Here's let me regale you with yet another happy birthday from one of these stars that are showing up, and then we'll do a quick break and then get to some of the Facebook questions. See if you've ever heard of this guy.
Hi, Greg. This is
Daniel Vaughn
from Texas Monthly. I know it's your birthday today, so I just wanted to reach out and give you a personal birthday wish here from everybody at Texas Monthly, and especially myself.
Nice.
Always appreciate the time we spend together, and so hope you're having just an excellent birthday, and we'll talk to you soon.
How about that, Daniel Vaughn?
That's fantastic.
Look, I'm not.
You are beloved, and you know you should be in the Hall of Fame.
I don't have an ear for sound, but as I'm listening to Daniel Vaughn say his name, it almost sounds like Aaron Franklin. Let me see if you can pick that up.
Hi, Greg. This is
Daniel Vaughn
from Texas Monthly.
Did you hear that? Let me do it one more time.
Hi, Greg. This is
Daniel Vaughn.
I don't know. I mean, that sounds a lot like Aaron Franklin. Maybe they put one over on me. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be.
You know, we all know how gullible you are, Greg.
Well, I thought I could sniff out a rat, but evidently I might be getting played hook, line, and sinker here. We're talking with Meathead. Meathead, stick around. And we will do Facebook questions when we get back. We got a boatload to run through here as time permits. I'm going to talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grill, some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market today. 3 different sizes to choose from. The Jim Bowie is the big boy. If you like to cook a lot of food at one time, you can do multiple racks of ribs, multiple pork butts, probably 2 to 3 whole packers in there if you're really nifty at fitting in those packers because they can range in size. Daniel Boone's the midsize. A lot of families love that. Definitely get a couple pork butts in there. If you're panning them, definitely 2. 1 whole packer for sure, multiple racks of ribs. The Jim Bowie and the Daniel Boone, very unique in the fact that you can rip the guts out of both of those cookers and then put in its place the high heat pizza oven insert, which is one of my favorite things to be using all the time. You can make the Neapolitan style pies, the thin crust. You can have pizza party and invite all the kids and all the kids' parents over and make 30 and 40 different kinds of pie. Have a pie party, a pie factory, if you will. Have the crust ready to go and then the toppings, and then here you are with the pizza peel, just whipping them in and out. I like to run my pizza oven right around 650 degrees. I find that gives me the best result and the best control. However, if you want to say you can cook pizzas in 1,000 degrees, all you have to do is run that Daniel Boone or Jim Bowie up to 500 on the cooker, and it's roughly double inside of that pizza oven, so you'd be 1,000 degrees. A lot less room for error when you're cooking at 1,000 degrees. Just mind you that. Now, if you like the portable stuff, the Davy Crockett is the one you want to go with. Super portable, fits in the back of trucks and vans and cars. And you're not really sacrificing a ton of capacity for the convenience of being able to take it with you. And if you don't have access to a traditional outlet, no worries. Just use your 12-volt receptacle in your car or your truck, and away you go. They also have pellets to fire those cookers. And again, if you're getting the Jim Bowie or the Daniel Boone, please consider the pizza oven insert. It's like $120. Super, super economical and very fun. Great pizzas, too, by the way. GreenMountainGrills.com. That's GreenMountainGrills.com. We're back with more Meathead from AmazingRibs.com. Stick around. Be right back.
Ready to get on the air? Call 216-220-0966. Now, let's get back to the LeBron James of barbecue talk.
Damn it.
Craig Rindy.
Damn it. I meant to switch that out. Now I got Meathead laughing at me. Hey, this portion of the Barbecue Central show is brought to you by CookinPellets.com, your #1 source for quality wood pellets. For all of your pellet-driven cookers, visit CookinPellets.com. That's COOKIN, CookinPellets.com. For more information or to purchase, you can also visit Amazon.com to purchase as well. Wow.
You know, I think you got to make it to Brian's site.
The Cardiac Kids of barbecue. Wow.
You know, I used to follow that team. I love the Cardiac Kids and Brian's site.
Really?
We're dating ourselves here now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never heard of Brian's site, he was exciting. He was the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. They had more fourth quarter comebacks back when they knew how to play football in Cleveland, back when they knew how to win in Cleveland. Brian Sipe never made the Hall of Fame, but he was just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, Cardiac Kids, no doubt. All right, we're talking with Meathead from AmazingRibs.com, and we have some Facebook questions here that we can tackle. So let's start first with a question from Larry Beasley. Is there anything that gained momentum through platforms like YouTube that you've seen? I misread. Sorry. Is there anything that gained momentum through platforms like YouTube that he sees a lot that may be bad techniques for beginners? Or in other words, is there bad information being proliferated across the internet?
Yeah, I mean, the internet in general, whether barbecue or other types of cooking or politics, does tend to be a really good place to go if you're wanting misinformation. You know, I don't want to knock down a lot of the daddy and mommy blogs that are out there. There are a lot of really fun barbecue blogs that are backyard cooks that you know, these are people have full-time, daytime jobs. And they just haven't caught on to a lot of stuff. I mentioned the New York Times getting some temperatures wrong. They still tell people to soak their wood chips. That's a common. There's a lot of myths, and we've covered them in the book. I'm kind of pleased to see that a lot of the myths that we've worked hard to break have spread throughout the community. And I am, little techniques like reverse sear that we've proselytized have caught on. And, people don't always give us credit for pushing these concepts, thermometers. And I'm not looking for the credit, but I think technique is generally improving. I think it's a lot of people have to be very careful in their selection of sources of information on the internet. Now, I know I'm bragging just a bit here, but what we do on AmazingRibs.com, we do full time. This is my job. I test recipes on a gas grill, on a charcoal grill, on pellet smokers. We have a professional chef who tests recipes with us. Everything is really worked hard, vetted. We've got Max, who shows up on your show, the full-time grill tester. Yep. Harry and Dick and John, who work in there as accountants and lawyers, and they come home and they cook up a recipe and whip out their iPhone and they publish a blog. It's not as reliable a source. And then there's a lot of big recipe websites where the recipes all come from little 3x5 file cards. And I've seen some of them that are health risks, where I know the chicken is not being cooked thoroughly. So I think, and the same goes for news. And I'm going to be very careful what I say. But there are news sources out there where they have well-trained, well-polished, fact-checked, researched information, and it's more reliable than what you get across your Facebook feed. And I think that's one of the problems. We've got to tune up our BS meters. We've just got to crank them up. I went to journalism school. Who, what, when, where, why, how? If you read something on the internet and it doesn't tell you who, what, when, where, why, how, then run. So I'm getting way off topic here. I think we just all have to be selective in our sources.
Next question is from Chris Mack. What's the best beginner smoker that isn't electric? No offense to the pellet grill or any other electric sponsors here on this show, but wondering what the best beginner smoker that isn't electric. I would throw out, of course, the Weber Smoky Mountain. Very easy to use, tried, true, decent amount of food. Kind of as set it and forget it as you're going to get in that kind of a.
And it's been around for 100 years, tried and true. A lot of recipes out there that have been developed on the Weber Smoky Mountain.
Websites specifically dedicated for that cooker.
Also, the pit barrel cooker.
Yep.
$300, I think it is, delivered to your door, no assembly. Pretty brains dead simple. I'm fond of gas smokers. All right. Oh, look, everybody's running. Everybody's hanging up, going off. No, you can find at your big box stores little cabinet smokers that are propane fired, and you throw wood in there so you can get good. Then there's actual combustion. It's better than an electric smoker, which has no combustion. But they're pretty easy to set and forget. Managing temp is a little tricky, but it's a lot easier than charcoal. Charcoal requires skill, artistry, craft. Logs, same thing. I'm a huge fan of the Weber Smoky Mountain with the slow and sear inserted into it as a smoker.
You mean the Weber kettle?
I said the Weber kettle, excuse me. The Weber kettle. Just plain old Weber kettle. I mean, all-time versatile tool. And this slow and sear insert turns it into a real smoker. It's really cool. But I'm the wrong person to ask. You have frequently my associate, Max Good. Max is the full-time grill and smoker tester for our website. And this guy knows the subject far better than I do. I have one of everything on my deck. I mean, I've got a pellet smoker. I've got a Kamado. I've got a gas grill. I've got 2 charcoal grills. I've got a log burner. I mean, so I play with all of them, but I don't get all the latest toys, and he does. So he's the one to ask these questions of. And the best thing to do is just go to AmazingRibs.com. There's a tab that says ratings and reviews. Click on that. Go to the smoker and grill section. You can do a search. There's over 500 reviews in there. Many of them Max has actually cooked on. And you can always ask questions there, too.
All right, next question is from Al Selvage, I believe his name, a friend of my Tennessee embedded correspondent, Steve Ray from Owl's Nest Barbecue. He says they're talking about cleaning grills and re-seasoning grills and grates. He gave me the info on the show and the call-in number. We mess with each other all the time. I think he wants to hear me on the air and hope he pulled one over on me. Any help with this subject and how far to go would be greatly appreciated. And again, this would be cleaning grills and re-seasoning grills and grates.
Okay, seasoning is a misconstrued term. In most cases, you would like a little carbon buildup on the inside, especially on something like a Weber Smoky Mountain, which is very shiny, and that shiny reflects heat, and it can run high. The large size Weber Smoky Mountain can run a bit hot until it's got a carbon coat, and then it can run a little cooler. But you don't want grease. Grease is grease. Grease is unpleasant smelling, unpleasant tasting. It's a bug attractor. It's a bacteria attractor. And so there's a lot of people think you got to have this thick grease buildup. But again, you'll go look at the competition cooks. When they're done at a competition, if they've got a big trailer size pit, they haul them through the car wash. They get out the pressure washer. They clean those babies. Now, I don't know if you have to clean them spotless, because I don't mind a little carbon buildup, but the grates I want spotless. I don't want grease on either side, top or bottom. Grease will smoke. And a lot of people love going out and turning on their gas grill. And they see all that smoke coming out, and it's grease smoke. And they think, oh, boy, I'm throwing my steak on that. It's going to be good and smoky. That's grease smoke, and it's not pleasant. So I want the grill grates clean, top and bottom. I don't want any grease on them. And then I'm not a fan of grease anywhere around the food.
Next question from Jason Baumgartner. This is a good question. Advice on smoking 2 items simultaneously that call for 2 different temps to get them done at the same time. This is why I have 8 cookers on my back patio.
Yeah,
of course. Multiple cookers, always great.
A lot.
Yeah,
I get it a lot.
I mean, to me, depending on what you're cooking, you would want to put the one that isn't going to dry out the soonest on second. So you're not that's not the one just sitting around and waiting for the other thing to catch up.
Yeah, that's good advice. I think the best advice is rethink. The reason you've got 2 things on there, 3 things on there, different cooking temps, different target temps, different weights and everything, is you're showing off. And I hear this a lot. You know, I got my brother-in-law and his family coming over, and I want to do ribs and a brisket and a turkey. And it's like, you know, you're just asking for trouble. Pick one. Get it right. Do it right. Master one. So I would begin by rethinking the plan. Number 2, if you have no choice, if you've got somebody who doesn't eat pork or something, go for the lowest temp. Lower temp is not likely to ever hurt you. 225 is just a good number for almost anything that you're smoking. Poultry, chicken and turkey, if you want the skin crispy, I like to take it up to 325. It renders fat and crisps the skin a little better. You can always do that later. And, you know, people, you can cheat. You can smoke something at 225 and then pull it off and throw it on a gas grill at a high temp and crisp the skin. or stick it in your oven at 400 degrees and crisp your skin. Nobody's going to call the police on you and arrest you for that. So use all your tools, and also keep in mind that most of the smoke flavor lands on the meat within the first few hours. People say it is absorbed by the meat, but it really isn't absorbed. It's smoke lands on the surface of the meat, sticks to the surface of the meat, doesn't penetrate very far. It isn't absorbed by the meat. But a lot of the smoke flavor is acquired in the first couple of hours when the surface is cold, because smoke sticks to cold surfaces. So you can throw something on the smoker, give it a couple of hours of smoke, pull it off, and stick it in the oven.
All right, last question. Oh, go
use
ahead.
your tools.
Yeah, all right, last question here for this evening, Meathead, from David Huff. What's the best cut of beef to use for fajitas, and how do you cook it? For him, he usually uses a skirt or flank steak, marinates it, cooks it hot and fast to medium rare, and then slices thin across the grain, but mine never seems to be as tender as a restaurant. Suggestions?
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. The problem with fajitas, a lot of restaurant fajitas are made with skirt steak, which is really thin. I mean, it's, half an inch. And if you want it pink or medium rare in the center, it cooks very quickly, and there's not enough time to get a good crust on it. And the way to do that is, this is another technique that I think we pioneered that is catching on around the internet. I call it the afterburner. I get a charcoal chimney and put a grate on top of it. Now you've got almost 1,000 degrees coming out of there. It's like the back end of an F-16. And I'll cook skirt steaks on that, because that can give me a good dark brown crust on the outside. Flip, 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 so it doesn't build up too much energy on the surface and push it down in the center, and you can get medium rare. But I'm a huge fan of flank steak, and that's what you said you like to do. And I love the flavor of flank steak. You've just got to cut it across the grain. You got to cut it thin. And I do like to cook it hot and fast. A thicker steak, like a ribeye, 1.5 inch ribeye, I'm going to reverse sear. But most flank steaks, I'm going to cook hot and fast.
All right, it's Meathead Goldwyn from... You know what? I made it the whole damn thing. Just saying Meathead, and then right at the end, I
That's all right.
Drop the G word in
cover
there.
of the book.
It's Meathead from AmazingRibs.com. One last thing there, Meathead.
Oh, I thought we were going to get into the Hall of Fame stuff. I did my studies. We'll do it next month.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think I've run a little fatigue on the listeners. I think on that.
I did my research, and by the way,
good.
They say that they haven't published the nomination form, but I found it. It's the 2019 nomination form is not available if you click the wrong links, but I found the right link. Ooh. And I submitted 2 nominations today.
Oh, right.
Stan Hayes from Operation Barbecue Relief.
Nice.
And some guy named Rempy.
Me? Oh, here we go. We're starting off. It's Meathead. AmazingRibs.com, his website. You see him here the second Tuesday of every month. Meathead, always appreciate the time.
Good to talk to you and all the Centralites.
There he is, Meathead from AmazingRibs.com.
All guests appear via the Traeger Grills hotline.
Wow.
Yummy.
That was a little hot there.
All guests appear via the Traeger Grills hotline.
All right.
Yummy.
We'll figure that out in post, as they say. Before we head into the Cook Shack read, how about one of these?
Hey, Greg, this is your old pal,
Myron Mixon,
from Myron Mixon Smokers and Jack's Old South Barbecue Competition Team.
All right.
The winningest man in barbecue.
Very nice.
And I just wanted to take time out of my busy schedule to wish the man in barbecue media a very happy birthday. Sorry we couldn't get together this year, but maybe we can try next year.
Maybe.
Hope you're having a great day, and I appreciate everything you're doing in the world of barbecue.
Myron
Mixon. Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, baby. Love getting a shout-out from Myron Mixon, wishing me a happy birthday. Appreciate that. Getting a lot of well wishes, too, while the show's going on. Hootie, wishing me a happy birthday. Thank you, Hootie. I only want to barbecue with you. I want to talk to you quickly about Cook Shack before we wrap up the first hour. They manufacture smoker ovens for barbecue lovers with any amount of experience, whether you backyard barbecue, whether you competition barbecue, whether you barbecue in a 5-star dining facility, Cook Shack has the unit that will do the job, and with a full line of barbecue sauces, spices, pellets, and wood chunks, it's the perfect one-stop shop. Cook Shack strives to be your barbecue resource center by offering cooking classes, online recipes, how-to videos, 2 blogs, smoke and grilling 101s, and a video cooking classroom. Check out their website at cookshack.com or follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest, and Google+. Get advice and share your passion for barbecue on their world-class barbecue forum. They still have one of those. Cook Shack pellet-fired smokers, the choice of champions because they were designed by a champion. Ed Fast Eddie Moore. The FEC 100, PG 1000, always customer favorites. The PG 1000 can actually double as a smoker and a grill. Low and slow, hot and fast. The pellet grill line gives you the most for your money. Cook Shack residential electric smokers, the #1 smoker in the industry. High quality means high durability and versatility. Anything you can cook in your oven, you can make in a Cook Shack. Passion, dedication drives Cook Shack's manufacturing, with quality always being the top priority. Get the best in barbecue since 1962. What? That's right. The best in barbecue since 1962. Call 800-423-0698. That's 800-423-0698. Or visit the website, cookshack.com. That's cookshack.com. All right, we have the Facebook issue squared away. For some reason, the audio output on my video interface, which I never touch, just like my iTunes feed, changed. But we've reverted that, so you got most, let's say 90% of the Meathead. So it was all recorded perfectly in podcast. So if you're frustrated that you missed those first 3, 4, 5 minutes, make sure you get the podcast tomorrow. That will be released right around midnight tonight. You can enjoy it all day tomorrow if you want. And then the second hour will be released on Thursday as we do it right here. All right, we will be back to wrap the first hour right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, thanks again to Meathead from AmazingRibs.com for joining me these past 2 segments. Wanted to mention this at the top of the show, but got behind because I get to rambling. Wanted to give a special mention to my guys, Sterling Ball and James the Flame Perez from Big Papa Smokers for notching another grand championship this past weekend in the wildly booming barbecue metropolis of Petaluma, California. Hit it for a 701.1. If you know anything about that region of the country, 701 or 700 plus, highly irregular, if not impossible. So congratulations to Sterling and James with the 701.1, almost 5 points. Hey, I like to round. 5 points better than RGC. I believe it was closer to 10 points between 1 and 4. So congratulations to Sterling and James on another win. Notching them up, baby, notching them up. Again, if you have any questions, oh, by the way, he wins with his products. I'll do a read for them next hour, but BigPapaSmokers.com is the place to go to get hooked up with the Big Papa Smokers rubs or the West Coast offense, which involves Simply Marvelous Barbecue, which I believe finished 4th in that contest as well. Hence the 10-point gap. Come on, Steph. Step your game up. Petaluma. Fun to say, not giving out 700 scores a lot. If you have any questions for Meathead, you can find him at AmazingRibs.com or send him an email. He's also pretty active on Facebook. Hit up Max Good for any smoker or grilling questions to purchase. There was a couple other ones that we didn't get to because we just ran out of time, but we'll try and mix those back in next quarter when we have Max Good on. See how it goes from there. All right. Second hour quickly approaching. Sunny Moberg will be in the second hour. We'll recap or do a follow-up story to something I reported on last week. I'll re-go over the steak temperature assignment revision that I made at the top of the hour, just in case you're going to be tuning in. And we might tease famous Dave complaining about his finish on the most recent episode of Smoked. Maybe. Your calls and emails as well. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com or 216-777-2120. That's 216-777-2120. Stick around for the second hour of the Barbecue Central Show. We'll be right back.
WLTV, the #1 show on the internet. And this is BBQ Central.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me! Fine, how you doing?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan. So what seems to be the problem here? This band looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Sharbono! It's all about the Sharbono, dude!
Succulent fish! What?
He ate 2 feet or wiener.
Oh, this is a sick face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit PC.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
All right, just like that, we are into the second hour. Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show. If you missed the first hour, you missed a ton. Meathead from AmazingRibs.com stopped by. I got birthday wishes left on voicemail from Aaron Franklin, Big Mo Kason, Chris Lilly, Daniel Vaughn. Myron Mixon, too, I believe, right? Did I do that one?
Hey, Greg, this is your old pal,
Myron Mixon,
from Myron Mixon Smokers and Jack's Old South Barbecue Competition.
Yeah, how could I forget that one? He did call in. That's right. Dropping little bits of birthday well wishes from the luminaries. 216-777-2120. John, were you surprised that Myron Mixon called into the show and wished me happy birthday?
That one blew me away.
Right?
I was like, wow, this is Myron Mixon. I didn't even know he talked to anybody.
Yeah, Myron Mixon called in. I mean, was that more surprising, or was Chris Lilly more surprising, or Big Mo?
Chris doesn't surprise me. He's just that kind of a person, right?
Yeah, he's class
Reaching out to his friends. Yeah. So, Mo, I expect that from him as well.
Well, we're ready to go. You're manning the phones now, so if anybody wants to jump in, 216-777-2120, and they have to play their way through you, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
I'm the goalie.
You're the goalie.
Just only getting through the 5-hole. That's about it.
Get into the pipes, and we'll see what transpires here. That's John in Michigan. By the way, he's worth the follow on Instagram if you are into Instagram. If you're a barbecue or a grilling person and you're not utilizing Instagram either by stalking people or posting your own content, you're missing out. So check out John Solberg on Instagram. Well worth the follow. Always cooking. Did it like a pig over this past weekend. I'm busy at the ball fields. John actually doing work and cooking whole hogs in brick pits. Nice. All right, so here's a follow-up story that I did last week, or that I had first reported on last week. That being 6 people being shot in a Baltimore backyard barbecue. And what we ended up finding most interesting about that whole story is more than half of those 6 people being shot incurred injuries, gunshot injuries or wounds, to the ankle or lower leg. And I couldn't figure out how bad of a shot someone had to be in order to hit that many ankles and lower legs. Well, thank goodness I have the answer. Fan of the show, Jeff Stone, did some digging and found out the reason. If you're getting this on podcast audio, I apologize in advance. You're going to have to go to the top of the second hour in the video so you can see what I'm about to show everybody that's watching on the video. This is why you want to watch live, because this is what it's all about. But the reason, I'm thinking, how bad of a shot are you? Are you holding the gun, was it misfiring? You had it in a hip or a really bad holster? It was just hitting people in the ankle, of all places. 4 people were hit in the ankle, 1 in the lower leg, like in the shin area. So how bad of a shot are you if you're at a barbecue party and you can't hit somebody at center mass? You're point blank range all over the place unless you're shooting from across the street. Well, Jeff Stone found out why, and here it is. You want to know why so many people are getting shot in the ankles? This is why so many people were getting shot in the ankles. Well, it all makes sense now. 45 caliber, ankle height. He's just taking aim and shooting. It just happens to be center mass is the ankle or lower leg. That's why 5 people were shot in the ankle and or leg. 4 people shot at the ankle. Wow. Jeff did incredible crack journalism work here. And I think you would have to agree, seeing this, why people were shot in the ankle so much. Last week, I had no idea. It was unfathomable that many people could suffer those kind of injuries at a barbecue party. Usually at a barbecue party, somebody gets mad at somebody else. They go over to the Weber kettle that still has embers in it. They pick it up and they throw it on their buddy that they're having an argument with. Or perhaps they're not a buddy. They're an enemy or somebody they have become a little perturbed with at their particular event, and they're not leaving. So to encourage them to hasten the leave from the party, they dump the Weber kettle embers on them. That's or, hey, you took the last rib. I wanted that rib. I'm going to now get my barbecue fork and try and stab you. Like, that's what happens at barbecue parties, I think. Not getting shot in the ankle, let alone 5 people getting shot or 4 people getting shot in the ankle, 1 in that lower fib area. Now we know why. Thank you, Jeff. Once again, if you missed the top of the show, I was calling for a revision on the steak assignment that I had asked for a couple weeks ago. Originally, I was saying ask for a temperature when you show up to your steakhouse of 140. And then if they don't cook to temperature, ask them for a medium steak. You have to go armed with an instant read meat thermometer. I am recommending Thermapen. They have no affiliation with me other than I own 2 of them, and I find them to be the most reputable and fastest acting instant read meat thermometers out there on the market today. Little pricey, sure. Buy the best and only cry once. Maybe you have a birthday coming up. Maybe you have an anniversary coming up. Maybe you just want to spoil yourself. It's under $100, but it's more than 10. But once you have it, you will realize the value and the ROI that you have on this. Take that thermometer to the steakhouse and then temp it as soon as it hits. Now we are saying if they will let you go to an internal temperature request 135, because as Meathead said in the last hour, you don't really know how long it's actually resting. It might hit more heat after the fact. So you have a little bit more carryover. I don't think we should be trying to accommodate for carryover. I think, especially in the higher end steakhouses, you got to have your stuff together. You're hitting the line. Everything's coming off just the way it should be. So that steak isn't sitting out for more than 5 minutes. I'm fine with 5, 6, 7 minute carryover. I'm expecting that that's what would happen in my house. By the time I get it off of the grill, it gets to the plates, all the sides come together, everybody sits down, gets some drinks poured. You're probably in that 5 to 7 minute mark, so I'm okay with that. But I don't want to overshoot it. I want to give everybody the best chance at success. So ask for 135 if they will let you. If they don't let you, ask for medium. Then it's kind of a crapshoot, I guess. When the steak hits the table, Thermopen out, put it down, into the steak, take that temperature, extra credit points for pictures that you send to me. Doug Scheiding has sent pictures to me. Steve Ray, cooking at his house, has sent pictures to me. These have to be at restaurants because that is what we're talking about. The purposeful undercooking of steaks across the country. And we're trying to prove it out. That's the revision of the steak. Okay, so let's get into this. If you are a fan of smoked, which is a cooking competition, I think on Food Channel or whatever it is, Destination America maybe. I have watched 0 episodes, counting the next one. I've said time and time again, this style of show is not in my wheelhouse. I don't watch Chopped. I don't watch the versions of Barbecue Pitmasters that were like Chopped were my least favorite episodes. I liked everybody in them, but they were the least compelling for me to watch, especially after seeing what everybody termed season 1. By the way, when you go back and look at all of the internet chatter about that season 1 where they followed the teams around, everybody hated on that until they changed format completely and made it a game show. And then season 1 was like the best thing ever. Dave Anderson was on the most recent version, and he didn't make it. And he says, and I quote, "I still say that my smoked baby back ribs won the contest. How could Sunny's Barbecue on a program called Smoke win using fried ribs and duck fat? Are you kidding me?" We all know they had to give this win against Sunny's Barbecue, even though Sunny's fried their ribs and I smoked my ribs the right way. They had to give the contest to Sunny's just to keep the competition going. Going to what? Why did they have to give it to Sunny's? Why couldn't they have given it to Famous Dave? I don't know. But if you're going to take part in these kind of competitions, even if it is called smoked, I think this is where your creativity is able to shine. So if you are finishing ribs, I'm imagining he smoked them at some point and maybe finished them in the pork fat, speculating. But I know they were at some point cooked in duck fat, which, by the way, duck fat on fries, delicious. Duck fat on most things, probably delicious. On ribs, probably tastes really good to the judge. Ray Lampe said so. He was a judge on the show. They were not coached to make any other decisions other than what tasted good. So, Dave, maybe a little less on the sour grapes smoke. And say, hey, they beat me. It's a show. Duck fat ribs at a barbecue competition? Probably not going to work. Dave Anderson probably wins the barbecue competition 10 out of 10 times. On a TV show, that's where you're going to shine. With duck fat. Duck fat finished ribs. Duck fat fried ribs. Duck fat on anything, delicious. Come on, let's go. Hey, we always believe outdoor cooking should be easy, because it can be, especially with the Monolith Barbecue Guru Edition grill. The Monolith, the world's first temperature-controlled smoker with a built-in power draft fan. This means smarter control and greater freedom with automatic temperature control. Easily choose your cooking time and temperature and let the Monolith do the work of a sous chef or a barbecue pitmaster. With minimal effort, you now have oven-like precision at the grill, and you can serve the tastiest, juicy meals each and every time. Oh, by the way, if you currently have a Barbecue Guru temperature control device, you don't have to get a new controller if you like it in order to use the Monolith. No. You can take that controller and hook it right up to the power draft fan that's already installed in the Monolith, and away you go. Now, if you want to keep up with the new tech or you want to upgrade that controller, that's fine. Go to barbecueguru.com, buy a new controller, and then hook it up to the fan that's in the Monolith already. You don't need to buy the fan. It's there. Wow. Super easy to use, a lot of accessories, great price point. Hard to beat when you compare it to some of the other ceramics out there right now. Visit bbqguru.com. That's bbqguru.com. Or call 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. The Barbecue Guru continues to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. Sunny Moberg from Moberg Smokers when we come back. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. I'll be right back.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, Smoking with Smithfield committed cooks. Make sure you head to smokingwithsmithfield.com and report your first place wins to claim your prize. Have you registered to compete in the American Royal Pork Loin Ancillary? Smithfield just increased the prize purse to $6,000. Make sure you sign up for the American Royal site today. And don't forget to sign up for the Smithfield Classic, which comes to Richmond, Virginia on September 29th. To sign up, reach out to Jesse with Big Papa Smokers. That's Jesse, Jessie, at BigPapaSmokers.com. That's Jesse at BigPapaSmokers.com. Always appreciate the great folks at Smithfield for their support of the show. All right, I love barbecue pits. I love owning them, cooking on them, and speaking to those who make them because, well, on their head, they seem to be kind of similar when you start to really break it down. They are indeed different animals. So let's go ahead and learn about a new cooker to me that I had found on Instagram a few months back. And I got to tell you, these things are absolute beauties. Let's go ahead and race to the Traeger Grills hotline and welcome first-timer to the show, the owner of Moberg Smokers, Sunny Moberg, joining me here on the show. Sunny, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous, Sunny. Appreciate you making time this evening here for the show. And I guess before we dive into the Moberg stuff and the guts of the cookers, the ins and outs and all that, maybe a little bit of background on you. Are you always from Texas? Did you move there? And have you been in any other kind of business besides pit fabrication?
Born and raised Austin, Texas. Roots are deep here. It's hard for me to even take a vacation. Of course, I work a lot, but I mean, I just enjoy Texas. No, I haven't been building pits all of my life. But for a good period, I've been welding for 30 years, but not solid for 30 years. But
you've been building pits for 30 years on and off?
On and off, yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. My first pit I built when I was 18, and that would be 30 years ago, almost to the day.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I just really enjoy building pits. My grandfather is Smoky Denmark Sausage here. It's a local sausage company here in Austin, Texas. Business has been sold now. It's not our family anymore, but definitely I think have my, the smoking in my genes, literally in my blood. So I don't have the passion to go, smoke a brisket, though I can smoke a pretty good brisket. My passion is in building them.
When you were growing up, did you have a lot of family barbecues and, things like this that you can look back and kind of say, aside from that business you were talking about, was there a lot of family time spent around live fire cooking as well?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Opa's my grandfather, Smoky Denmark. So he's my grandfather, and he had all the family reunions and stuff like that. We would have, barbecue and obviously sausage.
So you're starting, or you built your first pit 18 years old, as you said, almost 30 years ago to the day. At what point do you decide that you want to make a full-time run at this, or how long does it take you to go from tinkering to saying, hey, let's go ahead and focus right in on this and make Moberg Smokers a real situation?
It took a long time. You know, as a welder, you know, obviously you got to build a smoker anyway if you're a welder, because everyone, you know, wants a smoker, your friends and stuff, and obviously I did as well. But, you know, so throughout the years, I tinkered, you know, with smokers on and off and, you know, experimenting with them. But my neighbor, for probably about 20, 25 years, was he owned a propane company. And so I got a lot of my tanks from him. So I mostly use decommissioned propane tanks for my vessels, for my cooking chambers. So that just came natural for me to use those. And come to find out, you know, they're great, you know, vessels for the draw and, you know, the convection cook within them. They cook, you know, just make good cookers.
What year would you say was the launch of Moberg Smokers officially?
Officially, literally, I've only been building smokers full time, like nothing but smokers, because I built smokers and then Intergate smokers, and then I was doing a lot of artsy, you know, metal cutout stuff, you know, 4 years ago. Smokers have only been full time, literally for the last couple of years.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've been building smokers. I mean, I haven't tinkered with them, you know, changed the design a whole lot, but literally, I mean, my company actually was Moberg Metals, and a couple of my pitmasters said, you know, if you want to get big, if you want to get, you know, the big names, you need to put smoker in your name. So I did, and a couple of the restaurants that have my smoker made the Texas top, you know, the top 50 in the barbecue, and it just it's literally snowballed since then. I mean, we're fixing to book into, you can believe it, into 2020.
Wow.
It's nuts.
You know, I hear all the time from those top 50. I've had a lot of those restaurant owners or pit masters that are kind of attached to those restaurants say, hey, you know, we were making really good barbecue well before we got onto that Texas Monthly top 50 list. But as soon as we hit it, it was like a whole different level and a whole new world. People start showing up that never heard of us before, or now they're making an extensive drive to just say that they ate at, you know, one of these top 50 restaurants because maybe they're doing that passport thing, or they're trying to check off the top 50 for this year, or whatever their motivation is. But I guess I didn't grasp how far-reaching that top 50 can be. So if a restaurant is using your smoker, not only are they coming for the barbecue, but now the interest goes beyond that to what kind of rub are you using, what kind of smoker are you using, what kind of wood are you using, and that could in turn affect a lot of other businesses that are just kind of ancillary to that barbecue business. You're kind of a product of that.
Absolutely, you know, and I still have to pinch myself. I mean, it's not an overnight success, but I'm definitely an overnight sensation. I mean, I've been building these things for decades. In fact, it's been kind of hard sometimes, not all the times, but kind of hard sometimes for a customer to look at an old propane tank and be like, I don't know if I want that to be my smoker. But you know, they're cleaned out. They haven't held propane in years, and I mean, they just make great cookers. But you're right. My name is out there. I think we've got 8 or 9 of the top 50 now, and several of the top 10. And that people are now driving, you know, to get good barbecue and to go see my smokers. And it's been a great, fun snowball experience that I have witnessed in the last year and a half.
Sunny Moberg joining me here on the show. Moberg Smokers, the website, mobergsmokers.com. That's MOBERG, mobergsmokers.com. Sonny, let's talk about that propane tank just for a second. That's kind of your wheelhouse, as you had said, kind of growing up and having that neighbor that was in the business. To put people's mind at rest, like how do you go through, or what is the process to decommission a tank and make sure that there isn't anything potentially dangerous or anything like that, and get it from how it looks in that stockyard, if you will, and then taking it to that finished product, which is I mean, it can look a couple different ways. It can look really painted, finished, and kind of sexy, but it can also look kind of like something that's been rode hard and put away wet to a certain degree.
Yeah, so I did. I actually didn't finish on the propane tank part itself. Kind of hard to sell, and it's just recently, just with Aaron Franklin, bringing these decommissioned propane tanks into the limelight. I mean, that obviously really helped me out because, well, if he's cooking on them, then yeah, they're fine to buy.
Yep.
And so that obviously has helped me tremendously. But yeah, so some people leave it that rat rod, I call it raw look. It's just as is. Even the raw metal, they'll just let rust. I mean, nothing's gonna rust out on these things because they're very thick. To your question on the propane, I mean, most of these vessels that I use, the valves have been popped out for years. I mean, there's nothing in it, except maybe some rainwater. But yeah, so if it's got multi layers of paint, then we'll sandblast it. If it's one or two coats, we'll just flat disc it down, and then start cutting the doors and the firebox components and exhaust and stuff like that.
So you've been doing this full time for about 2 years. As you said, you've been doing it for decades, but kind of that overnight sensation to a lot of folks, especially when it comes to Instagram. And social media is something that, as you well know, decades ago wasn't available. You were trying to figure out, or a lot of people were trying to figure out what the next best way to market things is. Now, fast forward to 2018, if you're not on Instagram, as I just said a handful of minutes before, if you're not on Instagram and you're a barbecue and a grilling person in some form or fashion, you're kind of missing out getting your stuff out there or being able to consume a bunch of stuff. How have you been able to leverage an Instagram or social media in general to help jumpstart that business?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, 15, 20 years ago, I mean, I guess you run a Thrifty Nickel, classified ad.
Thrifty Nickel.
Most of my stuff. Yeah, I mean, most of my stuff back then was word of mouth, and
Yeah.
a lot of it is now as well. But, Instagram is so powerful. I mean, if you're wanting to get your stuff out there, whether it be smokers, or the weekend warrior that, just wants to impress people with their barbecue, you got to be on Instagram for sure. And that was another thing some of the pitmasters said to me, put smokers in your name and you need to be on Instagram. I was like, no, I have Facebook. We're good. And yeah, completely different beast, completely different tools. And Instagram is definitely very powerful when it comes to marketing and social media contacts.
Sunny Moberg joining me here on the show. Sunny, Texas is home of the country's most storied and prolific pit makers. Close, Gator, Bates, Pits and Spits just kind of come to mind right off the top of my head as I'm thinking about it. Most of them built on a same general concept and function. What's your thought on how a smoker should run before you start getting into the propane tank and making it a Moberg smoker? I mean, there has to be concept, right? You have to want it to function a certain way. In your words, how does your style of smoker function before you actually start making it happen? What's the keys to its success?
Keys to success on any smoker is going to be, good draw. You don't want too much, but you definitely want more than less. Just because of, the convection through the draw. But more so that's just a good clean smoke. If the smoke is hanging around in the smoke chamber, and just kind of, slowly going over it and then exiting, you'll get that stale smoke. And all these, these foodies around are really starting to, pick up on that and taste, what good, clean barbecue tastes like, Yeah, it definitely helps, cooking it the right way and rendering down the fat where it just is like butter. But it's also, if you have a good clean smoke and throughout your burn, definitely you can pick up on that.
As I had mentioned, especially down in Texas, you have a bunch of prolific pit makers. When you go about giving your features and benefits, maybe not necessarily trying to sell over and above some of the other stuff, but what do you feel sets your smokers apart from some of the others on the market today?
Definitely so our fireboxes are insulated, and that definitely helps the efficiency. I really think it helps on the draw, just because it encapsulates all that heat within that firebox, and it's extra hot, and they're just very efficient. Even on a 1,000-gallon cooker, from nose to tail, that's 21 feet long. You can get away, and once your cold bed is built and your smoker's up to temperature, I mean, goodness, sometimes you can get away with 30, 35, sometimes 40 minutes before you add another split log on the fire. So efficiency, and there again, just a good draw. I think mine stand out.
Where are you sourcing the raw materials at this point?
For tanks, my neighbor can't supply me anymore, or as many as I need.
Did you buy them all from him?
Yeah, I mean, literally all over the state of Texas. I mean, I'll go to Craigslist. I'll just, look online and hunt. And with this, barbecue craze and, the weekend warrior, I'm gonna build my own, which I have nothing against. I love, people tackling their own projects, and I get, asked several times a week, hey, will you help me out? Will you point me in the right direction? And I do. I don't hold too many secrets. I got a couple of little, tweaks in my smoker that I've, changed and perfected over the years. But other than that, it's hard to butcher them up. You can. I've seen them out there, but yeah, I mean, I just got to look all over the place, to be honest with you. And they're getting harder to find.
So as far as the other components are concerned, are you at all worried about the current political climate and how it might affect material costs here over the next 6 months or 12 months from an international standpoint or an international growth? I don't know if you've been getting requests for your smokers out of the country, but typically that seems to be the next step for somebody that's made it to a certain level in pit building, is they start soliciting off, or they start getting offers solicited from other countries to start shipping their smokers out there. Are you concerned about anything politically as far as tariffs and all this other crap, and have you had any requests for international pits at this point?
I like how you worded it, crap. Yeah, shipping out, I don't think it's going to affect us all that much. We've got one going to Kuwait, a couple going to Canada, maybe New Zealand. We've got one going to Australia.
Wow.
So those were, just bringing to the port, and they're handling it from there. But when it comes to tariffs, we're booked so far out. We held on to our prices for the longest just because we thought, our price point was fair, and the tariffs hit us, and, some of our still went up 60%.
Wow.
And so we've been holding on, and we actually just had a price increase of July 1st just because we're like, because my steel guy, huge steel company, and he's like, no, it's not coming down. In fact, it may still creep up a little bit more. So yeah, I mean, the tariffs are hitting us, hit our bottom dollar, but since we were so far out, we're like, we'll just ride the wave, and then we just kind of fell off, caved in.
Sunny Moberg joining me here on the show. Again, the website, if you're interested in checking these out while we're talking. I'm flashing some pictures up here while we're talking as well, Sunny. MobergSmokers.com. That's MOBERG, MobergSmokers.com. Sunny, can I hold you over for one more segment, and we can get into the cooker a little bit more as well?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. So stand by for more Sunny Moberg here. I'm going to talk to you quickly about Big Papa Smokers. That's right. The one-stop online shop for anyone interested in barbecue. Their curated selection of only the best outdoor cooking and grilling supplies will get you on the path to better barbecue results in no time. Everything at Big Papa Smokers has been Pitmaster approved by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. From the award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces to the American-made grills and smokers, Big Papa Smokers has everything you need to be a better outdoor cook. Whether you're a backyard guy like me or a competition pro like Sterling, Big Papa Smokers has something for you. Big Papa's known for the championship rubs and seasoning, popular flavors like Sweet Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, all proven winners on the competition circuit and in the backyard. Big Papa's offers 13 perfectly balanced flavors that will transform ordinary meals into extraordinary. Whether you're cooking to impress the judges or grilling for your family, Big Papa Smokers' award-winning rubs and seasonings just don't disappoint. Pick up a bottle a day, or 2, or 3, or 5-pound bags of Sweet Money at BigPapaSmokers.com. If you're looking to improve the flavor of your competition barbecue, might I introduce you to the West Coast Offense, a combination of Big Papa Smokers and Simply Marvelous Barbecue. They're pretty much cornering the market on competitive flavor profiles. Those are what the cooks are trying to aim for across the country. You can stop by the site and pick up some today. They're also the proud owner of award-winning Granny's Barbecue Sauce. Look for the new go-to rubber sauce that will please everyone. Granny's traditionally yet powerful flavors remind us why we fell in love with barbecue in the first place. Find Granny's Barbecue Sauce and other top-rated sauces at BigPapaSmokers.com. And aside from their premium selection of rubs and sauces, they also offer a great variety of pellet, charcoal, and wood cookers available. If you're looking for a versatile smoker that's easy to use, check out the Mac 2-Star General Pellet Grill. Big Papa Smokers is the exclusive Mac dealer and even offers special packages. No one else does that. Not a fan of pellet smokers? No problem. How about the Old Hickory Ace BP? It's the only charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. And if you're a backyard guy like me looking for a durable and versatile grill that will last forever, the M Grill from Texas is just what you need. They're built like tanks. If you're not sure of what grill you might need, you really can't go wrong with anything featured at BigPapaSmokers.com website. They have something for every kind of backyard cook and budget. Clear that Big Papa Smokers is the number one place to go for all things barbecue. Boost your skills with the help of Big Papa Smokers, the number one online barbecue store. You can call them toll-free at 877-828-0727 or visit them online at BigPapaSmokers.com. That's BIGPOPPA Smokers.com. We're back with Sunny Moberg right after this. Stick around. I'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rampey.
This segment brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring or connect via Bluetooth. If you have Alexa or Google Assistant in your home, you're in luck because Fireboard fully integrated with both as well. Always learning new skills. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com. That's F-I-R-E, fireboard.com, or call 816-945-2232. The good folks at Fireboard. We're going to have Ted Conrad on here shortly, by the way. Thanks for hanging with me through the break there, Sonny.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know if you were aware or not, but today's my birthday. That's right.
Happy birthday.
And I've been playing the show some luminaries of the barbecue world. We would call them celebrities, I guess, phoned in today to leave me some birthday well wishes. So if you can indulge my ego just for 1 second, I think you might have heard this guy before.
Hi, Greg. This is your pal,
Steven Reichland.
I always appreciate the monthly visits that we have on the Best Barbecue Show. No, the Barbecue Central Show. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean the Barbecue Central Show. Always a great time. I'm such a big fan of your show and everything that you're doing in the world of live fire grilling. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great day. And many happy returns from your pal,
Steven Reichland.
Hope you have a great show tonight. Take care.
How about that? Sonny, are you impressed or what?
I'm very impressed.
Steve, it's not every day Steven Reichland just calls and leaves you a birthday well wish. So ranks right up there with that free smoker you're going to give me. How about that? Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
You probably didn't know that either, but hey, it's just the perks of being the host, I guess.
It's good to know.
So let me ask you about this. As I look at the smokers on the market now, I don't recall seeing a cooker that has the sized firebox that you are putting on these cookers. Is this just an illusion, or am I true to eye? Your firebox, you must have a love for firebox, and there's obviously a reason behind it. These things are substantial, to say the least.
So yes, they do look bigger than they actually are, but they do. So they're insulated, and so there's an inside. So it's it's not as big as it looks once you get inside it. But I mean, they're pretty big. I mean, I crawl it inside and weld it. So, I mean, I'm not a big guy, but I'm not a small guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm not crawling into my Lang 36 firebox. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
When
Speaking of people calling you, you were talking about Big Papa. He messaged me early on, and that's when I realized, like, man, people are watching me.
Yeah.
And he just basically gave me a social media high five and told me to keep up the good work. But I was like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, no doubt. Sterling's a great guy. So when we're talking about running the cooker, we'll get into the purchasing and all that stuff here in just a second. But once you get it up and running, do you run the cooker once it's up to temp, like the fire door wide open and stack wide open, or do you run damper doors on the firebox? How does that whole process run?
So it really depends on the pitmaster. I usually recommend, the smokestack wide open, but some of the men and women out there, they'll run it, half, or quarter choked down. Sometimes at the beginning, sometimes at the end. It really depends on, how their style is. On my fireboxes, if you've looked at them in detail, there's not an air inlet. That a couple of reasons. One, that back firebox door is double wall insulated, and it has a little keeper on the door handle itself that kind of gives it a cruise control slot. But some people run that door wide open. You don't have to, just because it's going to burn more fuel anyway. But if you keep it on that little cruise control setting, once you get your up to temp and your cold bed going, that's really all you need to do. And then watch your temperature, keep it about where you want it, and spray when you want, spray when you don't. Drink a beer and add a stick when you see it start to drop a few degrees.
So let's talk about how you go about building that initial cold bed and then keeping that fire going, and then ease of adjustments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So really, for a good cook as you're cooking, you want to, get your cold bed, and, some people use the grease paper. I like the pear burner just because it's fast and, gets the job done quick, but to each their own. I don't, and that's a byproduct that they're using anyway, these restaurants. So it gets rid of some waste, which is great. And on 1,000 gallon or even a 500 gallon, 6-7 sticks, burn down in about 30 minutes. We'll get a nice cold bed, and then by then 40 minutes, your vessel on 1,000 gallon is completely up to temperature. Then you just add a stick, like I said, depending on the conditions and what temperature you want to cook at. These things have they kind of have a chugging temperature from 230 to 270. So, conveniently about where you want to smoke everything. You want to run a little bit hotter, you can choke down the dampener on the exhaust a little bit and obviously feed it more fuel. And your fire management is key to you're a good cook. And once your cold bed, you get that dead ash, start to build up, you just kind of scoop it to the side and scoop it out as you go.
Do you have folks that will run a combination of wood split and charcoal to kind of keep a cold bed established, or is it not really necessary to use the charcoal?
It's not really necessary, but that's a good question. I haven't had anyone tell me that's what they're doing, a mixed combination, but I could see it definitely being a benefit.
So I have an issue in my Lang with coals falling through the expanded metal fire grate quite a bit. Do you have any guard against that, or do you not really have like a grid that you would build a fire on for that to happen?
Yep. Yeah, there's no grid on mine. It gets built right on the ground. And reason being is mainly for that reason. Well, one, they burn out, fairly quickly. Just, nature of the beast. But yeah, just, it's not really necessary. Everyone thinks about, as the fire, consumes the oxygen that's it's pulling it in and kind of up under the fire and then up through the smoker. That is true. It will draw a little bit better, burn a little bit, cleaner that way. But once a few coals fall down and ash falls down, then you're back at the same spot unless you're cleaning out and you got those basically the ashtray underneath that some people have and pull it out. It's not really needed because once you get that coal bed, you're good to go.
Is there an initial burn-in process and seasoning process, and then I guess after that an ongoing maintenance and care routine?
On a brand new smoker, you mentioned Lane. He has great videos how to season them, but yeah, really get it up to temperature, if not a little bit hotter than normal. Spray it down with your choice of oil. I mean, there's tons of oils you can use out there. And burn it for about 6, 7, 8 hours. And if you leave those doors shut and on your first burn, and you're not peeking, you don't have any meat in there, you don't have to worry about it, and you open those doors up. Every time I do it, I'm just blown away because it's already got that dark color to it, and it's on its way.
Let's talk about models and price points because everybody's going to want to know about this as they're listening in podcasts. So how many different models are you offering right now, and what are those jump-off price points?
Yeah, so speaking of tariffs, we don't, as of right now, we're not offering our little backyard model just because that pipe that we were purchasing, it just went through the roof. And, instead of, going up on those prices and basically gouging people, and that's definitely not the business we're in. We've just kind of eliminated that for now, until things come down. So our smallest unit that we offer right now is a 250 gallon tank, and that one comes, with a insulated box, a large smokestack, all the bells and whistles, and you can get that one, painted rig for $4,500, and that's a pretty good sized smoker. And you can jump up. The 500 and 1,000 is definitely our most popular models. The 500 on skids, they're about $7,250, and you can get it on a trailer or on skids. And some people, want them on casters. We can do it on casters as well.
Wow.
And then the 1,000 gallons, on skids, that baby's running about $13,500.
And will you truck ship these, or people coming down to get them? They got to figure out freight.
A lot of people use that online, U-Ship or whatever it's called. Some people come pick them up, or if not, we can definitely. We've got a couple of delivery companies we can, get a quote through, and sometimes we deliver them.
Have you had a crazy complicated build, or do you try to keep these more or less pretty simple from your end so you can get as many done as possible?
We try to stick, kind of to our models. There's definitely some customizing available. We just finished up a extra short rig. This guy needed to get it into his garage, so that was a pretty challenging trailer to build just because it was so short and squatty. But we got one coming up here soon that's going to be. We got a double 1,000 on a trailer coming up. That one's going to be not really. It might be a challenge just because I haven't built one. But I think it's going to be. It's going to. I think it's going to blow the internet once it hits Instagram, because the double 500, is definitely a head turner. I believe when this 1,000 gallon double rolls down the highway, it's going to turn some heads for sure.
All right, Sonny. So the question of the day here is, if I call you tomorrow because I listened to it on the show here, and I'm looking to place an order here in mid-July. Am I really looking into January, February of 2020 before we're going to get one done, or is there any hope in lead time there from a consumer standpoint? Good for you, of course.
Yeah, I mean, great for me. I mean, I've been self-employed for many years. Never had that type of job security ever. And this, I mean, they're still coming in. I mean, I received 2 checks today on deposits, and it's just blowing me away. And I'm very humbled by it, and I'm very proud. I mean, yeah. So right now, I mean, we are technically about 16 to 17 months, which is pushing us into 2020.
Wow.
Which really, I mean, 18. You know, people are like, "Well, can you squeeze me in? You know, can I pay extra?" And you just,
yeah.
I mean, I'm honest to a fault. It just doesn't work that way.
So are you worried, like from a businessman's standpoint, I mean, having the security, as you had talked about, through next year, through the remainder of this year, I mean, we forget about, I mean, I'm kind of in a similar situation with my day job. I sell Class 8 Peterbilt tractors, so we're sold out for the year. We're already booking into the first part of next year. Customers have a hard time wrapping their head around, 6-7 months ago, you could order a truck from me in the beginning of the month. It would build at the end of the month, and within 5 weeks, you had a brand new truck. And now I'm telling you, you got to wait until February before the thing is even going to build. So, kind of similar standpoints there. You're out a little bit further than the trucking industry. Do you worry about how many sales you might be losing if somebody sees your unit and they're in love with it and everybody's like all about, I need it now, I need it now. This is the type of society that we live in now. Do you ever give a second thought to what you might be losing, or can you not really look like it that because then you're turning into a mad scientist?
Well, I mean, you definitely think about that. We're definitely losing sales for sure. I mean, some big sales we have lost just because, turned down a few, 1,000-gallon smokers, and that's a little bit of money in your pocket. People have asked me, well, you need to hire a lot of employees. You need to, knock them out faster. And unfortunately, that's not what I want to do. I'm not proud of being out 17 months. I'm happy that I am, but it's definitely, to me, it is honestly a little embarrassing because, I mean, that's a long wait. I know people wait long lines for barbecue, so I guess they don't mind waiting a little bit longer in my line for a smoker. But definitely trying to shorten that down some.
But you're the only one building them, right, Sonny?
Well, my brother-in-law comes up. He lives in Louisiana, so he's coming up. He was doing 2 weeks out of the month, and I've twisted his arm hard enough to come up 3 weeks out of the month, just to maybe help shorten this. And in fact, he just left today. He asks me every now and then, how are we doing? Are we making a dent? And no, we're not. I mean, it's still growing. And I have customers, have been waiting for months, and then their build comes up, and they've been like, because I call them, before I start the build and go over the specs one more time. And I've had just recently 2 people like, I want to change my 500 to a double 500.
Ooh.
Well, I can't tell them no, and I can't make more time in the day. So that kind of jacks my schedule. So yeah, I mean, things they just change daily because of stuff like that. And they change daily because, I mean, we're still receiving orders left and right, which I'm very humbled and blessed. And I definitely don't take any of it for granted. I'm very thankful.
It's like Spider-Man. It's a blessing and a curse, right?
For sure. Yes, sir. I referenced that old cartoon. I don't remember. I think they were dogs. That's showing my age now. I don't remember, but they were like, the dog said, "Don't forget the gravy." And then at the end of the cartoon, they're pouring gravy down this dog's mouth in a funnel. And that, I mean, it wasn't a couple of years ago. I told my wife Julie, which she does my scheduling and the books and all that. So thank goodness, because I'd be in trouble. I told her, I said, I just want to focus on smokers. That's where my passion is. And, when I work on those, it's not like I'm working, and I want to be that guy people come to for a smoker. And sure enough, here I am.
Yeah, you're the guy. Is there any person, celebrity, or maybe somebody you look up to that doesn't have one of your pits, or that you would like to build a pit for if given an opportunity?
Oh, there's some big celebrities out there. Big Mo has hit us up a couple times, and I saw he got his new rig recently. I mean, there's big names out there. Robert Sierra has one of our pits, and he definitely helped that early snowball. But really, I mean, I like helping out, the small guys. Our price point is still, feasible for people expanding or first, getting into catering or whatever. And that's why we're keeping our prices, as low as we can, just because I've been told too many times by customers saying, man, Sonny, if your prices were much higher, I couldn't afford it, and I couldn't, pursue my dream. And I think that's something to be said.
Sunny Moberg is the owner of Moberg Smokers, and the website is mobergsmokers.com. Head over there or give him a shout if you are interested, in waiting in a little bit of a line, but certainly the payoff is going to be well worth it if you can gut through the wait. Again, it's Sunny Moberg from Moberg Smokers. Sunny, really appreciate the conversation tonight, the time you put in here. Really enjoyable. Thanks so much for doing it.
Greg, yes, sir. Back at you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. There he is, Sunny Moberg from Moberg Smokers. How about that? That's a long...
All guests appear via the Traeger Grills hotline.
Man, oh, man.
Yummy.
All right, so let's go ahead and do this real quick. We'll get into the last couple birthday reads. Behind every great meal is a great grill. I don't need to tell you that, but not just any grill, a Traeger grill. And the Traeger Grill's Timberline version is the most advanced grill yet. It allows you to grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, and barbecue like a pro, no matter what your level, thanks to the incredible wood-fired taste. Seriously, you don't know flavor till you're cooking with it. Traeger grills use all-natural hardwood pellets, so fuel, so it's literally like you're cooking with flavor. From low and slow smoked ribs to a seared steak, even a baked apple pie, Traegers can handle it all. And the Traeger Timberline makes it even easier thanks to the Wi-Fi capability. You can check your cooks, kick up temperatures, and set custom cook cycles all right from your phone on the Traeger app. In fact, I should check on my briskets right now. I could do it if I had them on there. Find one at your local Traeger dealer or check them out online at TraegerGrills.com. How about this? You want to beef up that barbecue game of yours? Damn right you do. Traeger Shop Class, going coast to coast, bringing you barbecue knowledge and amazing wood-fired food everywhere you go. Taught by professional pitmasters like BBQ and Doug Scheiding and Chad Ward and Matt Pittman. You'll take home all the skills you need to reach barbecue glory in your neighborhood or cul-de-sac. Find a shop class near you today at TraegerGrills.com/shopclass. That's TraegerGrills.com/shopclass. We're back to wrap up the show right after this. Stick around. Be right back.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
National Barbecue News, dedicated to all things barbecue. Their goal to introduce new people to the barbecue world while holding the barbecue enthusiast and professional, making sure they're informed on what's happening in and around the barbecue nation. They obtain this goal by offering timely news stories, new product reviews, barbecue event calendars, unique recipes, all inside their printed products, website, social media pages, and email newsletter. Subscribe now by going to barbecuenews.com. That's BARBECUE, barbecuenews.com. They spell it right. You waiting in a line for that, John, or what?
I'm waiting.
Are you really?
Whatever you need, I'm waiting for it.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here waiting. That's what I do.
So you would wait for a Moberg smoker until 2020?
It's probably not going to happen from a budgetary standpoint, but you got to admit, they are gorgeous.
Oh, they're absolutely fantastic. Hey, how about this?
Hi, Greg. This is
Tootsie Tominets
from Snow's Barbecue, and I just wanted to wish you a very happy birthday.
Tootsie.
I know we haven't gotten a chance to talk person to person on your show yet.
I'm remiss.
And I'm really looking forward to having the opportunity to do that since I am in the Barbecue Hall of Fame. But I wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. I know all about you, so I'm very excited to have the opportunity to talk to you whenever you can fit me in your busy, busy schedule. Anyway, I'm 83, doing more work than you are, lifting heavier things than you've ever lifted, and putting in more hours of work during the week than you'll ever see in your life. But yeah, I'm still waiting to talk to you. That seems fair. Anyway, hope you're having a great birthday.
Yikes. I think that was a pretty nice happy birthday, I think. Of course, last but not least, a 2018 Barbecue Hall of Fame inductee.
Hey, Greg. This is your buddy,
Puffy Stone,
from Cool Smoke Barbecue, and I just wanted to wish you a very happy birthday. Sorry we couldn't get together in person, especially since you didn't get into the Barbecue Hall of Fame again this year. Maybe you should use your birthday wishes on something else from now on. No offense. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a great day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Wow. Puffy Stone. He's bringing the... straight fire on the truth, I think, right? Man. That didn't really sound like Tuffy Stone, did it, John?
Not to me.
Let's go back and review. Hold on.
Hey, Greg, this is your buddy,
Puffy Stone,
from Cool Smoke Barbecue.
I don't know. I think that was. Let's revisit.
It could be.
Hey, Greg, this is your buddy,
Puffy Stone,
from Cool Smoke Barbecue, and I just wanted...
He said Tuffy Stone, so I have to go with it. That was Tuffy.
Yeah.
I love it.
That was the day he fell and hit the wall, running the turn in to be disqualified.
That's right. Way back in the day. Way back in the day. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. John, as always, appreciate you manning the phone lines in Michigan, Northern
Not
Studio.
a problem, man. And of course, from the host of the other show, happy birthday to you, sir.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that. My guy, John, manning the phones over there in the North Studio of Northern Michigan.
Hey, this is John Dawson.
You know, if you go up far enough north in Michigan, you're closer to Wisconsin than you are most of Michigan. I believe that is a true statement. All the way back in the first hour, Meathead from AmazingRibs.com was on. We talked a lot about the potential purposeful undercooking of steak across these great United States and maybe the world. We answered some of your Facebook questions. And then in the second hour, we had a great conversation with Sunny Moberg from Moberg Smokers. If the question is, how long do I have to wait? Does the word 2020 mean anything to you? Get your waiting shoes on. However, by all accounts, well worth the wait. Do you want to wait? That's up to you. MobergSmokers.com. Check them out. All right, big show planned for next week, as always. Thanks again for all the birthday wishes. September 11th, 2001, I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host, Greg Rempe, first saying...
Start the game! Let's go!
And secondly, saying good night now.